All right, what do we got today? Just Rosie.
I think my main issue with dating these days is that men want to set this rhythm initially right off the bat. Or they're texting constantly all the time. They're sending like multiple questions in a row that you have to then answer multiple texts to. It's very exhausting, but it's
Now, look, I know a lot of guys are going to have a problem with this because they're thinking to themselves, how is it exhausting to answer, I don't know, like 5 texts or something, right? Like answering basic questions, trying to genuinely get to know someone. The thing that a lot of guys still fail to understand is that this is all emotionally processed, okay? So they're not looking at this logically, thinking to themselves, oh, he asked me 5 questions. This is too many. Before would have been perfect. To boil it down and make it simple, you're trying way too hard out of the gate. Now, you might be wondering, why is this such a problem? Don't girls want guys that try super hard? Doesn't that prove that they care about them? Well, here's the problem with this. In modern times, every guy tries way too hard. Girls experience an extraordinary amount of attention at all times. I know a lot of girls will claim that no guys actually approach them and all this stuff, but they passively or subconsciously know that guys are constantly looking at them because they find them attractive. To prove this phenomenon, think about how girls use social media. It's not like girls collectively go online and download some course and learn how to get the most attention on social media. They passively, through feeling, figure it out over time. Eventually, if you go through enough iterations, you'll figure out what works best for you in a variety of situations, whether that be makeup choice, clothes, behavior, etc. Think about your own life. Even if you're an average guy by all standards, I'm sure that at some point you had to have tried a certain strategy to get a date with a girl, and if that didn't work, then you'd have to adapt and try a different strategy, and then for whatever reason you found that that strategy worked when another didn't. Now, I know some of you are going to chalk it up to, oh well, the first person was different from the second person, it's not always the same and it's always subjective. Listen, when you do hundreds or thousands of these situations or put yourself in these situations, you're going to start to realize that there's very obviously patterns. The problem, of course, is that these days, most guys can't even get one iteration, let alone 500, to be able to even start reading patterns in the first place. Luckily for you, you have me, and I'll translate it for you. You're trying way too hard. The first few text messages need to be super simple, especially on a dating app, and very quickly you want to convert to phone number or some sort of date scenario. Don't be afraid to leave the message there for a day or two because girls do not take dating apps seriously. Most of the time.
That's this like banter, this false sense of intimacy. And then you meet with them, you go on a date, and then the energy just shifts, right? Then they're like a little bit more comfortable because there's like some kind of switch in their brain where they're like, okay, I'm gonna pull back just a little bit. And that's just very irritating to me because I think the natural progression would be to barely text, to barely talk on the phone, not really do any of that, and gradually progress to doing that all the time, giving all your energy to a person. But I think they do that because they want to occupy your time initially in the getting to know you stage. So you don't have time to talk to other men. And then once they know that you invested in talking to them, that's when they're like, okay, now let me think about like, do I like her or not?
When it comes to this specific scenario, she may be telling the truth a little bit. The only way to really solve this problem is to only go for girls that you genuinely find attractive. Unfortunately, you're never going to know right out the gate anyways, so you always have to take the chance anyways. Quite often what you'll find though is that girls are super finicky about their time, especially if they're giving it to a guy that didn't end up materializing into anything. In the end of the day, you shouldn't care too much about this because girls process time differently than guys do. You have to remember they don't necessarily owe her anything. Sometimes you just gotta take the risk and do whatever. I don't want to get too deep into Machiavellian philosophy and start sitting here and convincing you that you should go and take someone else's time for your own benefit. However, if you don't have experience, how are you supposed to get experience without taking the risk that you might waste somebody's time? There isn't another alternative. You have to just go, take the risk, and understand that you're always going to be blamed, even if objectively it's not your fault. It's not that big of a deal. It is what it is. Hey guys, before we continue, I just want to quickly let you know that I do have a dating course available where I go over all the essential concepts of modern dating. Make sure to check it out. I put the link in the description for you. Let's get back to the video. All right, for this one, we got elixir shots.
I know this is a sore topic for the guys, but I hate to keep on reminding y'all. I get comments all the time on my videos on this topic where guys are like, I don't chase. If I have to chase a woman, like, she's not the one. I don't want her. I want her to chase me, like all this stuff. But the gag of it is they will chase. I watch them do it. I watch them. The same guy saying, I will not chase a woman, will absolutely chase a woman that they think is out of their league. Will absolutely chase a woman that they think is their dream.
Yes, everything she's saying is the truth, but this isn't a good thing. Guys do this because they're weak. There's no other explanation. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that you shouldn't do your part as a guy to make sure the dynamic progresses forward. Some examples of this include being the coordinator, booking the dates, times, etc. Being the leader, so you're the executive decision maker. You decide when you're going to go, how you're going to go. You're the one that's picking her up. all these things. Making sure they're engaging in good decorum while still being playful. In my world, I don't see this as chasing, nor would I label it as chasing. I simply see it as a guy doing his part with a healthy amount of reciprocation. Now, when it comes to the specific dynamic that I always preach, I always say the guy needs to be in the dominant position and the girl needs to be in the submissive position. If you think about it from a big picture perspective, the submissive party is always following the dominant party. This is how it works. I think way too many people get caught up on this specific component because it's all about power. Feminists and the feminist movement always wants women to have more power, so obviously they're going to encourage women to take on domineering positions in relationships. Unfortunately, the subconscious programming is never in alignment with this. Girls do have the ability to logically choose their partner. The problem a lot of times when they do this is that it causes suffering long term for both parties. Sexuality or sexual desire does not come from logic. It comes from a feeling that sometimes can be a little bit difficult or abstract to describe. That feeling comes from emotions. Those emotions are processed subconsciously, not logically. I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but hopefully that makes sense.
Woman. Happens all the time. Don't listen to anybody who claims it doesn't. With men, I've learned that when they like a girl, there is a sense of urgency. They realize that they need to bag her or someone else will, so they'll go for it. So many guys have told me this, but I've also seen it with my own eyes. One time there was this guy that was interested in me and he came to visit my city and we spent like the weekend together. We kind of like showed him around with all my friends. And at the end of it all, he was like, hey, like I am really interested in you. That's why I came down here. I really want to pursue things with you, and I know if I don't do this right now, someone else is going to snatch you up, so I'm just shooting my shot here. Meanwhile, I had no idea that he was here trying to pursue me. I just thought he wanted someone to show him around the city, but whatever. But if that's not proof that they know that if they like somebody, they have to pursue, because they know how it works. They know how other guys work and how they think. So no, don't let these guys fool you. Don't think that just because they're saying they won't.
She will come on the internet and preach all of this garbage while simultaneously there will be a guy that is worth pursuing for her that is not the same as all of these other guys. The moment that you as a guy are placing yourself in this camp where you're competing amongst other guys for this one special girl, you've already lost. From a psychological perspective, it's not a strong hand to play. Now, a lot of guys would maybe claim that it's logical because yes, there are many men out there, but those many men aren't you. And if you start acting in a way where you compare yourself to all these other men, you are just one of many, not unique, not special in any way, and you probably haven't done anything of significance, or you just don't have much self-esteem. For the specific guy she's talking about, he needs to have higher standards. I'm gonna let the video finish to see if anything ended up happening with this guy, but my knee-jerk reaction would be that nothing ended up happening. So let's see.
Chase that they won't chase. They will. They'll chase. And if they're not chasing you, then you're not the right girl for them. No worries. But just know if he did like you, he would be chasing. So don't listen to these guys. They're lying to you.
Unfortunately, she didn't finish the story, so now we're going to have to assume. I'm going to go back to this one section because this one little thing she said to me indicated everything.
So many guys have told me this, but I've also seen it with my own eyes. One time there was this guy that was interested in me and he came to
Okay, so this guy was interested in her. Now watch what she says seconds later.
Visit my city and we spent like the weekend together. We kind of like showed him around with all my friends. And at the end of it all, he was like, hey, like I am really interested in you. That's why I came down here. I really want to pursue things with you. And I know if I don't do this right now, someone else is going to snatch you up. So I'm just shooting my shot here. Meanwhile, I had no idea that he was here trying to pursue me. I just thought he wanted someone to show him around the city, but.
Okay, hold up. You had no idea that he was there to pursue you. You just said a second ago that he was interested in you. And now you're following up by saying, I had no idea that he was trying to pursue me. I thought he just wanted somebody to show him around the city. I know I'm not crazy. This is quite obviously a contradiction. Do you really think that a man would go through all of these hoops just to be friends? I don't buy for 1 second that this girl is that delusional. For this reason alone, I think that that guy is probably cooked. Even if she did keep him around for a little bit, I highly doubt he'll be anything better than a placeholder. Even a long-term one. And yes, long-term placeholders can definitely exist. Of course, nobody's ever going to admit that, but if you can get yourself to the point where you can see through the haze and see things for how they truly are, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, for this one, we got Lissy Lulu.
I have come to realize that the more a woman knows a man, the more she loves him. And the more that a man knows a woman, the less he loves her. I don't know if that's already a saying, but I feel like it's something that a lot of women...
Okay, so I can discredit this whole video instantly with this simple statistic. The divorce rate, firstly, and who's choosing to divorce the vast majority of the time. I can end the video right here, but Let's keep going.
Would be able to relate to. I was thinking about it the other day, and any situation I've ever been with a man, whether it's a situationship or a relationship or just a crush, I just feel like I'm an exciting thrill for them in the early stages. And meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out if I even like them. And then no matter what, the more I get to know them, the more I come to love them, because I feel like that's human nature. And then over time, as they get to know me, I genuinely...
Okay, I'm just going to say this real quick. I'm not sure if anyone else can notice, but I really feel that she's putting on this crazy act right now where she's trying to play this super innocent, shy girl. She's looking down all the time and then looking back up. It doesn't feel authentic or real to me. I'm just going to keep it honest. I think this strategy works really, really good to attract a very specific type of guy. It's the type of guy essentially that's a white knight. He's going to be enchanted. He's going to be charmed. He's going to come in there and say, well, I would love you forever. I'm different than all those other guys. And unfortunately, that's a huge percentage of the male population. Anyway, a bit of a sidetrack.
See the effort that they put in dwindle. It's like I lose 10 points every time I tell him a secret. I once went on a couple of dates with a guy, and with...
What is the secret though? Because if it has anything to do with body count or past experience, and we did not ask. Of course, if you're on my channel, you know to never ask. Unfortunately, a lot of times this information is volunteered anyways. Let's see.
In 2 weeks of meeting each other, he told me that he loved me, and I was freaked the fuck out. But I know myself, and I know the more I get to know somebody.
No person, and I mean 99 point whatever, 9% of the time, will a person love you in the first 2 weeks. He does not know you. How is it possible for him to actually love you? When a man does this, he's either A, infatuated, or B, he's strategically love bombing. There is no middle ground on this. It's always one or the other. Manipulation or delusion.
The more I love him. So I decided to give him a chance, and we ended up dating for 4 years. And then at the end of those 4 years, we split up because he couldn't figure out if he loved me enough to be with me.
Are you seeing the act? Are you seeing the act yet? I decided to give him a chance. She's playing the victim here so hard that I'm really curious to what the climax of this story is going to be all about.
You almost feel objectified, like, oh, I am a fun little adventure in the beginning. And I feel like no matter what, when I talk to my friends, all of us are just trying to figure out if we even are into a man. We always give them a chance, and we always love them more the more we get to know them. And then the adventure for them and the thrill of it wears off. And it's like an endless loop. It's really easy to think, what is there about me that you are getting to know that isn't worth staying for? I don't really have any advice or a conclusion for this video, but I hope that if you relate, that you know you're not alone. And
Get some self-awareness. That's the first thing you need, because there's no way that you can't figure it out. The other thing, of course, is that maybe you don't offer any tangible value. We can talk all day about intangible value, and that's what I truly believe women bring to the table. It's not necessarily tangible. However, a lot of guys these days only look for tangible value. Once the honeymoon phase ends, are most guys going to see the intangible value of a woman? I'm going to argue no. Guys can't even put 1% effort into dressing better on average. When you think about it, clothes, after their initial purpose of maintaining your modesty and keeping you warm, are purely intangible assets. Guys on average don't even care about that. And clothes, of course, are way more basic and easy to understand than women. So what makes you think the average guy is going to have the capability of seeing the intangible value of having a good woman? He just won't. This, of course, is assuming that you and your friends are good women.
that these men are trifling, so please be with you and not with the boys.
I guess we're all entitled to our subjective opinion. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Make sure to check my links in the description below.